Okay, I had to start this over because I got to have my stupid headphones and I keep forgetting, or you guys can't hear a thing I'm saying. So I had to restart this. This is important though. Okay, I'm going to read the Declaration of Independence and show you how every single infraction that government could possibly commit is in it has they have already done they oh man they've already done multiple times you know uh over, you know what I mean, like excessively over the rules in the Declaration of Independence that basically, I don't know how to say it. They basically overstepped their boundaries several times over and infringed on our rights to the point where the country's going burning. The country's burning. Rome is burning right now, and it's because of the government. It's because of millions of illegals pouring in. This is all. Basically, what I'm saying is we are at a point now where we are able to do whatever we want, and nobody is we. I mean, we are at a point where we are well within our rights to do whatever we need to do, and it's all in the Declaration of Independence. And I'm going to read it right now. When, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with one another, like the Republicans and the Democrats, and blah, 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 to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. So you have to put everyone on notice why you're doing it. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights. Some would say that means unalienable, like your rights can't be you can't, you can't have a lien put on your rights and have to pay money for them. They can't be taken away from you because of, anything, unless unless you've done something seriously wrong, which men have not. In general, men have not. We've built this country. There's no reason for us to be treated the way we're being treated now. Uh, So that among these rights, these unalienable rights, are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Very important, super important. All the men right now, literally. Let me tell you something right now. If the government is literally keeping you from just function, if a government tyrant, this is what this is saying, if a government tyrant is literally like passing laws to keep you from just going about your everyday life, you can kill them. You can kill them just for you not being able to go about your regular life and be happy. Like, oh, you're keeping me from farming and and having a good time, and okay, bang, 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 bang. Yeah, got any more of you? Because I got plenty of ammunition. Do you understand what I'm saying? All that has to be done is all they have to do is be keeping you from pursuing happiness and you know what I mean, basically being happy, or being, you know what I'm saying, living life and being happy, and that's it. You can kill them. You can kill somebody who is trying to keep you from pursuing from living your life and pursuing happiness. End of that conversation. It's not violence. It's in the Declaration of Independence. You can kill somebody for this. Do you understand this? Okay. uh that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. That means get out your firearms, because no government is going to give up. Like, our government controls billions and trillions of dollars now, and can print as much money as it wants, and has millions of police that will ruin your life and say they're just doing their job. Just doing my job. Sorry, just doing my job. The police in the Nuremberg trials got put to death. Go look into it. The police that said I'm just doing my job in the Nuremberg trials got put to death. Do you understand that? They killed the police They killed the police. They killed the police in Germany that said, I'm just doing my job. They killed them. Do you understand that? They killed the police in Germany in the Nuremberg trials. They put them to death for saying I was just following orders and doing my job. Are we clear on that? They killed the police in the German police in the Nuremberg trials for saying I am just following orders. Are we clear on that? Are we clear on that? Okay. That's where we are. The police are telling you they're just following orders. Okay. Prudence indeed will dictate that whether we do this or not. I'm saying this is where we are. I'm not telling anybody to do anything. I'm showing you this is where we are right now. What Americans do, well, I think they're going to cower it out. I think they're going to be a bunch of pussies. So anyway, prudence indeed will dictate that governments to abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect what? Their safety and their happiness. That's it. If your government's making you feel unsafe and unhappy, overrunning you with millions and millions of illegals, getting you into illegal wars all over the planet, trillions of dollars, bankrupt, police hunting you down, hunting your kids down, then the Declaration of Independence is for you. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. So don't just overthrow a government that's been around and for nothing. Don't just throw it. You know what I mean? If it's just like a fringe little, now the fringe groups get all the power. You understand what I'm saying? Most of the country's dissatisfied with the government now. It's like a fringe group. Some fringe groups still I don't know, they're just blindly loyal to it or something. Let me make sure I'm still podcasting here, because every now and then it gives me some little alert like yep. So I'm reading the Declaration of Independence. I know I'm doing it slowly, but I'm relating to you how we are in how it absolutely applies to us, and then and it lists everything the king does. They have to list everything the king did, and our government's pretty much guilty of all of it. So anyway, happy pursuit of. So basically, it started off saying, if when things get so bad that people want to dissolve the political bands that have connected them, like the Republicans and the Democrats. So they can all be individual, go back to being, as the laws of nature dictate, we don't want to be in this big giant group anymore because it's ruining everything. So we're just going to break off, you know what I mean? Or whatever, do whatever we got to do, separate, you know what I mean? It says that we should basically we should do it prudently and make sure we have good cause for it. And it says basically we should declare, we should declare why. That's what's happened so far, and that we have the right to abolish it completely and rearrange it till we're happy, not till the government's happy, till we're happy. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, which, like I said, like 80% of the country is against almost everything the government does on all the major issues. War, the borders, you know what I mean? You name it. All the major issues, you know what I mean? Most of the country is absolutely unhappy with what the government's doing anymore. Okay. Prudence indeed the government long established should not be changed for late, and accordingly to all experiences hath shewn that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, they've been demonizing men and taking our kids away now for 60 or 70 years. They've been chemically lobotomizing and little boys and savaging their brains now since the 80s. Okay, they've been letting it's just they've been letting millions of undocumented illegals from all over the place in here to take advantage of all our social services and our health care. In the 80s, I remember when they started pouring in and it was in the news, and nobody could do anything about it. Everyone's like, oh, what do we do? I don't know. What do you do? So anyway, when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object, which is the demonizing of men in this culture, evinces and anybody who stands up for themselves against the tyrannical government. All of a sudden their property is a compound, and they're surrounded by helicopters and marshals and police that are ready to kill them because they're just doing their job, just doing my job. The same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism. It is their right. It is which is where we are now, where basically despotism. It is their duty. It is not your right. It is your duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. When the government just overruns you with illegals, puts up unconstitutional illegal courts everywhere where they go around your right to a jury, the Magna Carta and your right, you know what I mean, all your due process. You understand what I'm saying? It's your right to basically provide new guards for your future security. And we have no future security. I don't even know what my future holds. I don't know what my kids' future holds. Such has been the patient sufferances of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations. Sound familiar? All having in direct to object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. See how intelligent our founders were? They weren't a bunch of monkeys like us, sitting around like yo, what up, all stupid and fucking laying around doing drugs and watching television. He has refused his assent to laws the most wholesome and necessary for the good republic. Fathers' rights, the MRAs. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate pressing importance. Once again, MRAs, the border, the bankrupt, unpayable debt. They just keep basically, they just keep putting little temporary band-aids all over everything as the problems just get huger and huger. Unless he has forbidden the governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance unless suspended in their operation till his assent would be obtained, and when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend them. He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodations of large districts of people, like the people down on the border. Like the people down on the border, they're refusing to protect the borders unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in the legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only. He has called together legislative bodies and placed unusual, uncomfortable, and distant depository, or distant from the depository of their public records for sole purpose of fatiguing them. Oh, I'm sure our government's done plenty of that. I mean, I'm positive I can come up with instances. He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly for opposing with many firmness his invasions on the rights of the people. He has refused for a long time after such disillusions to cause others to be elected. They're rigging the elections. The elections are all pretty much rigged now. The they've proven that certain companies own voting the voting computers, and that their technicians have can change the votes, can go in and change the votes now. They don't do it paper ballots anymore because they want to rig everything. I mean, on and on and on. He has refused for a long time. Okay, wait, yeah. For the okay, others to be elected whereby the legislative powers incapable of annihilation have returned to the people at large for their exercise in the state, remaining in the meantime exposed to all the dangers of invasion from without and convulsions within. Does that sound familiar? Taking away our guns, where so criminals are menacing us. The borders falling apart. So the basically the drug lords and the people living on the border are at war with each other now. He has endeavored to prevent the population of these states for that purpose, obstructing the laws of naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage their migrations hither, raising uh, Yeah, that's now they're just letting it now that instead of refusing encouraging people or not encouraging people to come here, now they're just the board it's wide open. Anybody can come here. So it's still related in some way. I'm telling you that everything on here, he has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers. He has made judges dependent on the will alone and the tenure of their offices, which is the judges are all dependent on all these systems of welfare, child support. They're dependent on all these feminist policies, like all these federal policies now. You understand what I'm saying? The judges are all, this is how they make money now. This is how they make money now, off of your off of denying you due process, off of you bringing you into courts where there's no jury trials, family courts. uh where the judges are making money off your child support and making money off federal power. In other words, like it's almost like your town. If they don't do everything the feds tell them, they don't get their federal taxes. They don't get their they don't get their subsidization, and the same with the schools, same with the courts, all of it. They're all dependent now on the federal government printing tons of money for all these government programs now. And that's why a lot of the tyranny is going on. It is all in here. It is on and on. You can read it all. I mean, basically, they just go through everything that in every stage of oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be ruler of a free people. Nor have we been wanting in attentions to our British brethren. It's like, they don't want to do this. But we've warned them. We have warned them from time to time of their attempts by their legislator to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is all going on right now. We have reminded them of the circumstances of our emigration and settlement here. We have appealed to their native justice. It's like, we ran away from you. Now get the hell off our backs. We have appealed to their. It's like Mgtows were like hiding out now. Like, please leave us alone in our living rooms. We have appealed to their native. MRAs have given up. Basically, we have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity, and we have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow these usurpations, which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence. They don't even want us talking to each other anymore, basically, and getting together. They're dividing us all up. They too have been deaf to the voice of justice and of consanguinity. They were our founders were very intelligent, man. Our consanguinity. We must therefore acquiesce in the necessity which denounces our separation and hold them as we hold the rest of mankind enemies in war, in peace friends. We therefore, the representatives of the United States of America in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are and of right ought to be free and independent, states, ought to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states, they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other. In other words, we can start getting together, doing business, having trade, hanging out, having fun. And if you want to come around, and we can be at peace, or you can be a bully, and we're going to park metal in your face. We're going to park lead right in your fucking face, right? So conclude peace, contract, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do, like see our children, like have children, like, and not have them hunted down. And for the support by family courts and social and child quote protective services unquote. And for the support of this declaration, with the firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. So you can go read all that, and we are absolutely in the midst of all of this. I don't care what anybody says. What we do about it is up to us. I'm just telling you, right now, as men, you have the right to do whatever you need to do about it. And that was the point of reading this. Thanks for joining in. Have a great weekend. And I am out.